In this episode of Growing Your Sense of Self Through Self-Defense, we're going to work on a counterattack after an escape with a live hand escape. We saw that in the first episode. We're not going to go over it too much in detail, but we're going to show the counterattack from that. Now, before I show that, I wanted to share a story that's appropriate for this episode. And before I share the story, I wanted to share what's called the Shaolin Creed. A Shaolin monastery in China is monks who also engage in Kung Fu and other martial arts. So the creed's like this: avoid rather than check, check rather than hurt, hurt rather than maim, maim rather than kill. For all life is precious and none should be lost. The story I want to tell relates to that. It's sort of an example of the Shaolin Creed. 23 years ago, my wife and child, it's Eric, my master Eric, you've seen him in the episode. He was 2 years old, less than 2 years old at the time. We were vacationing in California, and we were in Los Angeles, staying with a friend in Los Angeles. And it was at night, and other things were closed, so we went down the Walk of Fame, the Wilshire Boulevard, where the stars are on the street. And we parked about maybe a block and a half off on a side street, and it was really, really dark on that side street. So we parked the car, and we get out of the car, and Missy's carrying Eric, and we start walking down towards the Walk of Fame. And I seen these two guys coming up, and they were kind of seedy looking guys, dressed kind of shabby, and you know, at that age where maybe you're more likely to be a criminal. And I said to Miss, well, let's go across the street up here. Okay, so we crossed over to the other side of the street. Then these guys crossed over to the other side of the street. So I said, okay, let's go back to the first side of the street. So we crossed back to where we started. You know, we're still walking down and they're walking up, so we're getting closer. And I'm watching these guys, and one guy was like, oh, hey, yeah, like, what's that over there? You know, not at us, but like behind us. It was pitch dark, you couldn't see nothing, so it was a bogus move. So they crossed back over. Now we're maybe 30 feet apart, and now I could see their faces, and I didn't think that was up to any good. So I tapped Miss and said, well, let's go back to the car. And as she's confused about what's going on, we start to turn, and I look on the boulevard, right behind these guys, two cops on bikes. And then I got a grin because I said, all right, now I know what's going on. We're gonna be okay. So they saw me smile, they stopped, they looked back, they saw the cops. So they crossed back across the street, and as they did, they cursed us from the other side of the street, like, I don't know what for, but it was no good that they were up to. So the reason I'm telling that story is twofold. One is because it ties to the Shaolin Creed with the avoidance rather than anything else. Now the second one is the friend whose apartment we stayed at 23 years ago is a friend who now lives in this magnificent house behind me. It's a friend I've had for nearly 40 years. Miss Tami, if you want to come on. Hey, Curt. Hey. This is my friend Tami, and we've known each other for an awful long time. She was a gymnast, a very high-skilled gymnast. She was a national champion floor exercise in class 1. Just wonderful, wonderful person, yeah. Yeah, so we've been doing some stuff prior to this video. If you see her hand, you want to hold your hand? I was showing her with a kitchen knife, some knife defenses and 13 stitches, but it's no big deal. Yeah, no big deal. Now, we want to do this technique. It's the same side grab. Oh, this is Caroline, Miss Tami's youngest daughter. We don't really need you in this episode, so if you want to just leave. Yeah. So if you remember from episode 1, same side grab, the live hand escape, the live hand and the turn to get out here, sort of connect your elbow to your side, and it's not turning with your arm, it's turning with your body. So like this here to escape. Now, we saw that, but the counter off of that, if, you know, sometimes that's sufficient, you just want to get away from the guy, he's just being in pain. But if the guy is more aggressive, you've seen something else happen, and maybe he did something to you before, you might want to do more than just escape, because he'll just come right back and grab you some other place. So the counter for that is, and I'll do it in regular speed and explain what was done, it's the same live hand escape, and strike back with an elbow. Now, if I pull down, the head comes down, the elbow can hit the person in the face. So this has a lot more power, even if I'm kind of doing slow motion. If I come in with that top hand and do double pull, to pull out, Now I can also push with this hand. It's like a baseball batter, you know how they sort of hitch back before they strike? That's what you're doing. So there's a lot of power in that. You feel that power when you do that, but throw don't, show don't throw. So first, Miss Tami, if you want to do the escape, so live hand, turn, and back. Oh, you slipped me with the backhand. So live hand, turn, and out. Yeah, she's pretty strong. Okay, so if you want to try that counter, the live hand, turn out. Oh! Oh!
Yeah, that's for this. No big deal. That's for this. No big deal.
Oh.
In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to kick a man when he's down. There's a man, and he's down.
Ooh, not in the face. Not in the
sorry.
face. Oh. Oh. Not in the groin. Oh, I'm maimed. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, no big deal.
Oh, I can't shake that hand. Caroline, want to come on? So, there's, in addition to telling the story, the Shaolin Creed, the self-defense technique, you guys meeting these two people, the other thing that's in this episode makes it really full is, this is a demonstration of a strong sense of self where people can make fun of themselves. These are two people who are about the most gentle, most kind and caring and loving people you'd ever want to meet. Beautiful people, and they play this role of being like sort of violently aggressive. Even though I was a jerk, I mean, still, that's not in their nature. It was hard, to overcome their gentleness to do those acts. So kudos to you guys. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Learned a lot.
Yes, yes. Very good. Nice job, Tamer.
Thanks, sweetie.
Good job. Okay, good job, Caroline. She caught me good a couple times, yeah. Okay, till next time, kamsahamnida. Thanks for watching. Toodles. Yikes. Whoa, there's a punch front. Whoa! Wow! That was a nice finishing touch.